We have multiple New York Knicks trade updates as multiple insiders in both James Edwards and Ian Begley have revealed that the Knicks' slow start, what they believe the plans are for any potential New York Knicks trades throughout this season, and we have to jump into it because there's a few different reports on this, and we have to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as always because, guys, the New York Knicks, obviously, they're 8-6. It's not the greatest start to the season in the world, especially when you were 5-6 before you played the Nets twice in a row and the Washington Wizards once. However, they are still 8-6, meaning they're on the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, which, thank God, the Eastern Conference is not very good this season. It's really helping the Knicks out with their slow start. And many fans have been getting worried about what the future holds for the New York Knicks, and if this team is going to be good enough, and if the team's going to decide to make some trades. And James Edwards and Ian Begley both talked about this in recent mailbags that they did, revealing the truth on the team. Now, guys, real quick, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you think the Knicks should be making a trade throughout the season and who you want to see the trade get made for. But, guys, let's jump into this. Now, Begley was asked about this, and he revealed what he knows about the New York Knicks front office, saying, "The sense that I get from conversations over the past few weeks is that there's no rush to make a trade. The team obviously is incomplete at the moment. Achiuwa and Robinson are still out. Landry Shamet is still rehabbing his dislocated shoulder. And if Shamet can make it all the way back, Begley still believes the Knicks will strongly consider re-signing him. The big question to Begley is if the Knicks can wait another month or two for Mitchell Robinson to return. In a perfect world, the Knicks stack wins over the next few weeks, and Robinson comes back healthy and bolsters the rotation as they slowly integrate him back into major minutes. But things are rarely perfect in the NBA. The Knicks were 5-6 when Begley was asked about this, and they weren't put together to hover around 500. They were put together to win an NBA Finals. So if the struggles continue, the team could be more apt to make a move, which honestly is very fair when you consider what the New York Knicks are up to. Now, here's the deal, guys. We know the New York Knicks are a good team. That we don't have to argue or debate that. We know the New York Knicks are good. They're just not good enough right now, but at the same time, it's probably more chemistry issues than anything else. The Knicks are a new team. They're working out a new muscle, being a new group together. This isn't last year's team with Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle and Isaiah Hartenstein. All three of them are gone. Karl Anthony Towns is here. The New York Knicks are different now. Mikal Bridges is here, and he's starting to play better also, one should mention, because with Mikal playing better, the New York Knicks genuinely just look better. The Knicks are in a situation where they have to go out there and they have to really just win games. Now, they've been doing that recently against some bad teams. The problem is, if you can only beat bad teams, then obviously you're not very good. However, it might just be the Knicks seem to be clicking, which in my mind, I think they're just clicking. I mean, the team looks like they're getting the teamwork down. They look like they're really starting to catch a flow for each other. Brunson and Towns have gotten that pick and roll going, and the pick and roll has looked excellent so far. So Leon Rose probably is in no means rushing to make a panic trade. We've never really seen Rose make a panic trade per se. We've seen him make short-sighted trades like the Alec Burks one and Bojan Bogdanovic trade, but that wasn't even exactly short-sighted. The Knicks made that trade because they knew they needed some more bench scoring and some more shooting, so they got two guys who could score off the bench and shoot the ball really well. Also, acquiring Bogdanovic gave them that contract that they could use in a potential trade, whose money lined up very well with Mikal Bridges, something I mentioned at the time of the trade. And now, 8 months later, here we are. Mikal Bridges is on the Knicks, and Bogdanovic was the contract the Knicks used to trade for him. So, Leon Rose knows what he's doing. The New York Knicks are not going to make some panic move because they started out a little slow. Look, I imagine they'll be around 500 for another few weeks, maybe another month or so. But once Precious comes back, that's going to be huge for their defense. And once Mitch comes back, that's going to be a monumental shift for the team. Mitch doesn't solve every problem the New York Knicks have, but he solves the problem of their offensive rebounding has been lackluster this season, which it's not when Mitch is there. He's the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. And also, rim protection has not been great. And Mitchell Robinson also goes out there and solves that problem along with it. Now, Tom Thibodeau is trying to adjust, and the New York Knicks have started to look a bit better, as I've mentioned. But at the same time, you do have to wonder if they're going to make some moves. And like Ian Begley, James Edwards talked about this. And Edwards mentioned that this is who the Knicks are going to be until the deadline, or if this is going to be who the Knicks are till the deadline, a mediocre to good team with obvious flaws, then yes, something could happen. The front office has to feel pressure, and being anything other than a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference with all the moves they've made over the last year would be disappointing, which Edwards is absolutely right about. Now, he also mentions that the only other players on the roster that he could see being of interest to rival teams are Deuce McBride, who Edwards doesn't see being moved because he's a good player and because he's on such a team-friendly contract that the Knicks would never get anything back if he's traded alone. Mitchell Robinson, who likely won't be ready until January, so that's going to scare teams off of giving anything for him. And Precious Achiuwa, who's still injured and can't be traded until December 15th. He's probably the most likely candidate to get moved, and Edwards mentions that Robinson and Achiuwa feel like the most likely trade candidates. However, this team is struggling defensively, and Robinson is by far the best interior defender on the Knicks in general. So Achiuwa might be the guy to be moved, but he's also definitely next on the list of just sheer rim protection. It's Sims. It's not Sims. It's Achiuwa right after him. Or maybe Ariel Hukporti because he looks great. But as Edwards says, it still feels more likely that the Knicks are going to roll with what they have this season, although a Mitchell Robinson trade would not surprise James Edwards at all, which is definitely interesting. I mean, Mitchell Robinson has been phenomenal for the Knicks. He's the longest tenured Knick. Excellent defender, best rebounder, best offensive rebounder in basketball. He gives the Knicks a lot of problem-solving things because the Knicks, look, they're in the 20s in offensive rebounds per game. Usually they're in the top 3. Last year they were. I believe they were the best team last year because they had Mitch and Hartenstein for 48 minutes a night. Look, Mitchell Robinson is so imperative to what this team needs right now that it's hard to imagine Mitch is going to get moved. Now, he obviously could be moved, but it definitely would surprise me to see Mitch get moved. And when it comes to Achiuwa, I could totally see him getting traded in some sort of deal to net them another rim protector in case they start to feel worried about Mitch and they want a guy who's more of a true center. Though Precious Achiuwa did show a lot of promise in the playoffs last year, and also, funny enough, Promise is the name of one of his siblings. But that's beside the point. Shout out to Precious and the Achiuwa family for having just the greatest names of all time. Look, Precious Achiuwa is huge for this team also. We just haven't seen it yet. I think seeing him with Karl-Anthony Towns will be interesting because Precious has a nice mid-range game and he provides defense at the rim. It's going to be interesting to see how those two mesh together, and the Knicks are probably not going to know if they're going to trade Precious until they could see that on the court. That would be my guess on the matter. Now, Mitchell Robinson, since joining the Knicks, has been very effective. He has the highest field goal percentage in NBA history from a few years ago, but those numbers have gone down along with his free throw number. However, the rebounding has gotten better, the interior defense has stayed the same, and the defense as a whole has gotten better. He used to just be a shot blocker. Now he's an excellent defender in general, just a lockdown rim protector. The 1.3 blocks per game, I'm not concerned about that at all. I don't think his ability to block shots is going down. I mean, I guess he's not flying through the air like rookie Mitch when he was way thinner and all gangly and could get bodied up by most centers. But he's a bigger body now, and what he's doing is changing. And he's still an elite rim protector. And we're going to have to see how Mitch comes back, because if Mitch comes back and he's not great, maybe the Knicks do make a trade. I imagine they would if Mitch can't come back and return to some of these numbers. Then yeah, the Knicks are certainly going to look to move him. However, outside of that, it's hard to imagine the Knicks moving a guy who's just... Clearly, the Knicks are better when he's healthy and there for them. That's been the case Mitch's entire career also, dating back to when the Knicks won 17 games. Now, with Precious, again, just a solid player, provides rim protection, hits a mid-range, can score down low, great as a power forward. I really think he'd fit beautifully next to Karl-Anthony Towns, and I imagine the Knicks, specifically Tom Thibodeau, want to see how that rotation goes. So for me, I think it all comes down to what this man's going to do at first and how he's going to work this roster, and that is going to affect what this man does and what he does to the roster. I'd be kind of surprised if the Knicks don't make any minor trades throughout the season, but there's also a real world where they don't. Usually the Knicks make a trade around January, and then they're a lot better. Leon Rose has done that multiple years. I mean, in 2021, in January, the Knicks, or it might have been early February actually, the Knicks trade for Derrick Rose. They go on a huge win streak. In 2022, the Knicks trade for Cam Reddish. It does literally nothing, but that happened in January. I know that because it was the day I failed my driver's test. But, well, the second of the 5 times. I'm not kidding. This is a true story. I failed my driver's test 5 times. But hey, 6th time was the charm, guys. And you know what? I'm not very good at driving. Clearly. But look, here's the thing. I do think we'll see the Knicks potentially make a move. Leon Rose has made an in-season move every single year that he's been the president of the Knicks. We've seen it in 2023. The New York Knicks trade for OG Anunoby. The Knicks get much better. Every single year, Leon Rose makes a deal. We're going to see if he's going to keep doing that. And I'm very interested to see if Leon does go out and make a move. But the thing is, you don't necessarily have to, because you already have a player in Mitchell Robinson coming back. And Mitchell Robinson is going to essentially be that guy who fills a team need that the Knicks traded for. Whether it was when the Knicks traded for Josh Hart in 2023. I should have said 2024 with OG, but technically he got traded on New Year's Eve. So, look, when they trade for Josh Hart, 9 straight wins. They trade for OG Anunoby, phenomenal January. Every single year, the Knicks have made a trade, and it's filled a team need. However, Mitchell Robinson, him just coming back from injury, fills a team need. And same thing for Precious Achiuwa. So we're going to have to see what the Knicks want to go out there and do. But I'll tell you one thing that I know for sure. The New York Knicks are not trading Deuce McBride. This season, Deuce has been putting up 11 points per game, shooting 38% from the field, 44%, or 38% from 3, 44% from the field, getting a steal per game. The guy's an unreal defender, just showing that he's getting better and better as a combo guard off the bench for the Knicks. Looked like the 6th man of the year before he got injured. Hopefully that knee inflammation's going down. I imagine he'll be ready to play at the end of the week or something around there. And we will give an update on that if we see more stuff come out. Means maybe he won't be returning this week. But guys, let me know what you think down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.